Yeah. Now, audible, right? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now what happens basically? Let me share the screen. Yeah, this screen is shared. So here, if you see, we start from A and then move towards B, right? This is the A is the main station, what we can say, and B is the end station. Now this line, what you call this dash and three dotted lines, right? That
Sir,
is
could
called
you
as
please
basically,
zoom it a little bit?
yeah.
Could you please zoom it?
Can you once come once again? Could you
Could you
please?
please zoom it? Zoom.
You want to zoom? Yeah, I will zoom it. I will zoom it. I was giving an overview. Then I'll come back to the yeah. So now, okay. So this is the line. This is the A line is called the main station. What we initially started our survey. At this A point, the leader will be there. The leader will be holding a staff or the ranging rod. Now, who will dictate the other people in between who are holding the other ranging rods, right, to align themselves for the person at A. So this is a B is the end station, and this particular line, this dashed line, right, the dashed line with three dots is what we call as chain line. Now, what is the importance of chain line? Chain line is very important because now let's say you are have a big land is there one. That particular big land has to be divided into small plots. That's how the layout is being made, right? So you have a 1 acre of land, let's say. That 1 acre of land is slowly converted, right, into some small plots. Now for each plot, you'll fix a chain line. So now let's say you want to divide the whole area into some rectangular blocks or square blocks. You'll fix a chain line, and depending on chain line, you will divide the small blocks, and you will allot one plot for who is the buyer. Who want to buy the site, you will allot the plot with some number. Now, when once again, if the person want to build his house or build any structure, he will want to resurvey again, right? What was the my actual site, particular site with different what are the particular site dimensions. So what he will do with these references, what he has used, right? These kind of references will be there in the site. There can be permanent structure like a tree or an electric pole, right? Any structures what are there in that particular layout or a region with that particular site, the previous survey was done, and using that particular field book, they will fix this chain line again. That's why we have taken this particular offsets from permanent structure like SMS building, SIF building to while fixing this chain line. Now, next, if someday, let's say next week or further, if you come back again to the campus and you want to fix this line again, what you will do, you will take offsets from this particular tree, from the SMS, or this particular offset, from SIF, this particular offset, and you will join a line, what is called as chain line. So this is the importance of the chain line. So it will indicate you the boundary of it's a plot or the measurement what was taken in the previous surveys. So in the chain line, we always use some particular offsets, any reference point, so that whenever someone to resurvey, they can use this kind of reference points. So this was done in this video and it was recorded, right? Which you also already watched, I guess. So now basically, I will just rerun the video once again, right? Let me rerun the video once again. Are you able to see the screen, students? Hello, students?
Yes, only the field book
Yes,
page
sir.
is field
Okay,
book page is
this
visible.
field book is visible, right? Okay, let me change it once. Now, can you see the video?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now
Yes, sir.
let me
Yes,
play.
sir.
Yeah. Now this is a ranging rod what we use. This ranging rod can be of different height. So what happens? Let's say if you want a tall ranging rod, you can fix this ranging rod on above this. Right? They can be there. Basically, they can fix the ranging rods if you want a tall ranging rod. And second thing, the chain what we have been used. The chain in this study we used 30-meter chain. and the link was 30 centimeters. When we talk about link, it is basically the distance between two O-rings. Now in this video, if I show you, yeah, there are one O-ring here, other O-ring here. The end-to-end length is 30 centimeters. So if it's 30 meter, we'll be having around 100 links in this particular chain. And this 30 meter is from handle to handle. So remember this, even the handle length what is there, it is accommodated in this particular chain length. So 30 meter chain means end to end of the handles. So you should be careful about that point. And then we use this wooden peg. This wooden pegs are basically used to fix the main stations, right? Let's say in this picture, what I showed you the field book, that was A and B. In A and B, we will fix the wooden pegs, right, to mark the stations. And the arrows, what we use, these arrows are used to mark in between stations. Let's say if between A and B, if you have, let's say, C, D, E, whatever stations are there, those stations can be used to fix can be fixed by using arrows, just a temporary mark. And second thing, when you're doing some tape measurements, you're taking offsets. When the length is not sufficient, you'll measure the full length of the tape and fix the point using arrow. Again, you start your next measurement from the arrow. So like that, you will use this arrow in the field. Now here if you see, this man is holding a rod here, this ranging rod. This ranging rod is in line with this particular electric pole. So this electric pole is our reference point, like let's say first reference point. So we will basically measure the offset from this point, let's say this station B, let's say, and then we will take the offset from here to here. Now the offset can be taken from the road curve also. This is called a road curve, right? The raised footpath. Even though that also a permanent structure, so we can take that also as a one of the offset for measuring the chain length. So now what we will do, this one leader is standing here holding the staff ranging rod. Now he will tell others to align themselves for this particular alignment. So we'll say, yeah, now there are three arrangements basically. So one is here, other is this surveyor is holding, and the other the leader is holding. So now these three ranging rod, right, are in line, indicating that it's a straight line. So now what we will do, once we fix this particular line, we will keep the chain at this particular line, which is called as now chain line. So now arrow here is kept here, it's indicating one chain length here. We will keep this arrow here only. Let's say we're doing in a field somewhere in the site where anyway this is a hard surface. There we have to use a hammer to punch the arrow inside the road. But normally where we do survey, let's say it is soil, weak soil, then just place it or push it inside the soil, and that will be remaining there while doing survey activity. So it indicates one chain length, right? Now if you see here, this is the station one main session. From here, we are trying to measure the offset from the permanent structures. This is why we are doing basically. In future, as I told you, if someone want to fix this point again for some other measurements, then one can do with these permanent structures, one can measure, okay, this is 10 meters and from this tree it is 20 meters. So one can fix this point with known distance from the other reference points. Again, same thing we are doing here. So now what we do actually time demonstration here is, now we have taken measurement from particular point from this station to some point where the electric pole is there, right? So let me show that. Yeah. So now what we're trying to do without the help of tape, how to find the length using chain. In the field, sometimes what happens, Actually, in the olden days, tape was not available. Right? They used to make this kind of chain links. Now tapes are available. In the olden days, they used to use this kind of links to measure the distance. So what they used to do, they used to mark these kind of tags, what we call tags or tallies. Now these tallies are given at regular intervals. Let's say 3 meter interval, all right? 3 meter interval. Let's say in 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, like that. They give tally, and each tally or tag is given a different shape, so that it is easily identifiable in the field without again counting number of links. So now this round indicates a 15-meter mark. That means at this point, the total length is 15 meters. So what we will do, we will count 18 meters, 31 meters. Yeah, the permanent electric pole is there here. From this electric pole, we will try to see what is the offset, right? I mean, what is the distance from the this one length of the electric pole from the station B. So now we'll just count the links and count and see that this is 21.3, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, 22.2 meters. When you use the chain, we got a similar measurement, right? Sometimes what happens, probably you study the theory classes, the chain length may vary depending on that sometimes temperature also. Since it's a metal, right? Sometimes in a hot sun, it may slowly expand because of heat. So then we may have to apply some correction factors while measuring the chain length. All this we will teach you in the next set of videos where we will do a closed traverse. Now, closed traverse means we will we will measure area or a length or a perimeter of a polygon using chain, right? So there we may have to apply the corrections. Here again we're taking offset from the permanent structure, the building. So to take an offset, right? So in other way, let's say if you want to know the application of this particular thing, now let's say you want to build a road in front of SIF. Now the chain line can be the road's center line. Now in a road, if you want to build a road, whatever measurement you make, so those measurements are always made with respect to the road center line. So like this, if you want to build a road, then we want to fix a center line. Then we can take these kind of offsets corresponding to center line. So in future, the next day someone comes, then if they want to identify the center line, they can take these kind of measurements and start the work. Yeah, so I hope now by this you'll understand what actually we were doing this chain survey. So now what we'll show is basically how to fold and unfold a chain. It's a very important thing also because what happens, the chain has so many links, right? If you don't fold and unfold properly, it will be difficult in the field to open because it gets tangled, right? There's a particular procedure to fold and unfold the chain, which is shown in the video. First, what we will do? First, we will hold the center point. That is the 15-meter link or the 15-meter tag or tally we will hold and lift the chain up. 15-meter point. They will fill it and they will hold it. So basically, what you will do? One surveyor will hold the center point, and the other surveyor will hold the one end of handle and move towards the other end, right? Holding the pulling the chain. Now he has started the folding the chain such that he is folding totally 4 link at a time, right? So there will be from here, I mean 2 link at a time. He will hold two links and fold them, and then together folding. Folding is there here. Is folding. Yeah. So now this is a folded chain. So next time when you want to open, again you should, there's a procedure to how to open the chain, because it's not just you can pull it because it can get tangled. So when you want to open the chain, what you will do? First, you will hold the handle firmly, right? And then you will throw the chain in air. So I'll show you this. So when you throw the chain, what happens? Since already it is properly folded, right, link-wise, the just link will get easily separated, right? So once we get the chain is thrown, now one end is fixed and the other end is pulled towards the other station, like this. See, one end is there, other end is being pulled. Yeah, once you unfold it, what you will do, you have to pull it firmly, right? And just what to say, you have to just yeah. Yeah. Basically, the two surveyors who hold the chain will pull it, and just what to say, you will hold the chain and make it up and down so that it will just get tightened firmly and make it straight. So this is how the chain is folded and unfolded. And once you do this, your chain in is fixed depending on your requirement, and then you can start taking the offsets. This way, the chain surveying or the ranging and also fixing a chain line was done. So now, if you have any doubts, you can ask. And regarding this particular laboratory thing, what I will expect is the drawing what I have been shown to you, the field book, right? The field book has some numbers. Let me share the field book screen. Yeah. Here, what you see the particular drawing. For this drawing, you can reciprocate this with proper scale. If you have an A3 sheet in your home, or if you are able to buy an A3 sheet or A2 sheet, that will be well and good from the stationery shop if they are open in and around your home. If in case you're not able to find an A3 and A2 sheet because of lockdowns or some other reasons, I would suggest you to use, you can join two A4 sheets, right, and make it an A3 size, and then you can draw this figure with a proper scale. Now this is this is in meter scale. This is 7 meter, this is 5 meter, this is 4.49 total is 49.5 meter, 30.5 meter, like this. The length has been given at different points. Now this 44.8 meter. You can take a particular scale, let's say 1:10, 1:20, or whatever scale is suitable for you, depending on your page, and draw this particular setup or the drawing on your A4 page, right? And then you can scan and send me by using a CAM scanner, or if I have a scanner in home, you can scan and send me with your name and roll number, one thing. And second thing, you have to write a procedure, right? See, you have seen the video and I have explained to you here also. You can make a procedure of your own on your own words, right? And just explain how this surveying was done and how the chain can be folded and unfolded, right? So you can submit me in A4 sheet. So write the report in by hand, no need to type, so don't type, write by your own handwriting, and then draw this figure to a particular scale so that we can see how this actually looks when you transfer this drawing to this particular figure to a drawing. Actually, I plan to give it AutoCAD, but AutoCAD thing I will give you in the next classes where things will be more interesting or more quite complicated. There, AutoCAD will be helpful to draw, let's say auto level, let's say leveling exercise or a closed traverse. But here we can draw just using an AutoCAD, A4 sheet on a pencil and scale. Got it? If any questions, we can discuss now.
Sir, sir, one thing I need to ask you that, sir,
Yeah.
we can use A3 or A4 sheet, that doesn't matter, but sir, we are not having the drafter. So if we are using the A3 sheet, so sir, scaling will not be perfect. That means that some error will come. That means that for an angle or like that one, you may we may get 1-2 degree error or like that. It will come because we are not using the drafter.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, the drafter is not required here since it's simple. If you have geometric instrument, okay, scale, pencil, and compass and protractor, I think that will be good enough. And we will just try to draw because even we haven't given angles here, right? There's no angle given here. In fact, you can find the angle by whatever geometry is shown here. So we can use A4, but if you use A4, the scale will be very low, right? If you want to convert a 44.4-meter line into an A4 sheet, it will be quite difficult. You can use a 30 centimeter scale. Use a bigger scale, right? Not the 50 centimeter scale. And then we can join two A4 sheets and we can draw. It will be possible. Just give it a try once. That will be, we can do it.
And sir, one thing I need to inform you that, sir, till yesterday the video was not opening. Only just before the class, before the class, we opened the video, and that is that we found the video just running, but video quality is very low. It is a very, that is very, so many blurry things that maximum things are not clear.
No, actually, I will tell you what happened. See, that day it was raining, right? So what happened? We were holding umbrella in one hand and I was holding camera in other hand. So and second thing, since I am quite new to this DSLR, so I couldn't because my hands are not free to press the other focus button. This maybe happened for this. So anyways, next time we go on, we see that we get a very clear video. And second thing, since we keep moving, right, it's difficult to get the very clear video because the camera what we have that is not too not a hi-fi camera. We can say it's a normal camera. So a moving video will be difficult to capture sometimes, right? It can be one of the reasons. But next time we will see that we will try to give a more clear video. And second thing, since sometimes what happens when we give a very clear video, the video size is too high actually. So that's the thing. But anyways, I will try to explain you the video also once again. Even if the video is quite low quality, so again I will run the video and explain what was actually done in the field because I was there in the while doing survey. I will be there, so I will explain you. Don't worry.
So what we have to write in the report part?
Yes, report basically you have seen the video, right? Now you just write how this chain surveying was done in your own words, right? No need to no need to copy anywhere from my friends. Just see the video and write your own words how this survey was done and what is its importance of this particular survey. And then the field book drawing what I've shown you there, that drawing you can use, you can draw in A4, preferably A3 by joining two A4 sheets and take some particular scale and draw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any questions?
Sir, only two things we have to do. That
Yeah.
we have to write the how the chaining is done and
Yeah.
what is its importance and its diagram that.
And now this is for only this particular class. Again, when you do next set of video, I'll give you one more task. Like that for each videos, I'll keep giving you each task because that's how I can evaluate the students. This whatever reports you give, whatever drawings you give, that will be used for the evaluation. Because in survey, as such, there is no exam, right? Like midterm and there is no survey, there is no exam for survey practice. In survey theory, you have an exam, but in survey practice, it's a laboratory class. So there is no exam. So what I will do, I will basically take these reports as a part of evaluation. And finally, at the end of survey, end of semester, I will take a simple viva, right? Or I can give you some task, depending on which I will evaluate the whole, how you perform this whole semester, right? This how. So be careful while writing the report and whatever drawings I give you to make it clear and perfect so that it won't affect your marks.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
For this week, could you please extend the date?
Yeah, what was the date? What I gave actually?
Sir, you have given most probably September 1 or 2. So if you increase the date, that
2nd
will
September.
2nd September. But sir, if you increase the date, because we are getting the idea now, we have to collect the H3. Sir,
You got-
now we have to collect the H3 seat because A4 will be, you are telling that, or F3 A4, and then we have to manage the everything. So if you increase the date for time limit submission, it will be better, sir.
Okay, for this
Yes,
particular
sir.
for this particular thing, let me increase it till 9 September. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So till 9 September, increase
Till
this
9.
particular till 9 September. So after that, I won't extend this
Okay.
particular. So 9th is the last date. So you try to see, try to look for A3 and A2 sheets. If not available, then you can come join two A4 sheets, and then you can draw. You just glue two A4 sheets, and you can draw the diagram. Not a problem, right?
Okay, sir.
Any more doubts we can discuss, and else we can wind up the class.
sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, how do you arrange the three ranging rods in a straight line, sir?
Yeah. See,
How
what
to make
happens?
sure that they are.
Yeah. So basically, there will be two first. There will be two rods initially. So one will be holding the rod. Let's say it's called the leader. The leader will stand in front of the ranging rod. He can see, right? He can see his ranging rod. Now other person, the follower, he will ask the follower to just move right laterally. Laterally means like he is standing at somewhere. He will tell to just move laterally, and he will ask him to align. So basically, he will align the ranging rod of the follower to the ranging rod what leader is seeing. That's why, as I told you, if the distance is too long, then you will bring in intermediate stations so that you create a more straighter line. If it is too far, what happens? There may be some eccentricity, right? There will not be a straight line. There will be some inclination. To avoid this, what they will do? They will divide the large line, I mean the long line, into small segments. That's what we are shown in this particular video. In this, A and B were there. Between A and B, one more surveyor was holding this rod. That's how we'll do this. We'll pick the straight line. We will bring multiple ranging rods, align them small segments. Let's say one is holding at 0 point. The next point will be holding at, let's say, 5 meter. 5 meter is not too far, right? You can see 5 meter exactly. Next will be at 10 meter. Next 15 meters. Like that, you will arrange. And then let's say if the end line is 50 meters. So now, once you slowly keep arranging like 0, 5 meter ranging rod, 10 meter ranging rod, 10 meter ranging rod. By the 50 meters, the rods will be aligned in a straight line like that. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have some
Yeah.
doubt regarding offsets.
Yeah. Yes. Tell me.
Sir, actually, if the distance, for example, if you're taking offset for SF building, this is
Okay.
4.8.
Yeah.
This distance may vary from individual to individual, right? Is this perpendicular, sir? Is this the
Yeah.
perpendicular distance from SF
Yeah.
to
We will come for that point. Now, if you remember in the first class, I showed you an equipment called cross staff. Okay. Now, this cross staff is basically used to set the perpendicular direction. Here we didn't use because of rain. In the next class, what we will do, we will show you the other cross staff also. When you want to measure exactly perpendicular distance, right? We will hold one equipment called cross staff in our chain line. Now, what we will do? Now, this cross staff has it will have 4 arms. So, these 4 arms are perpendicular to each other. It's like a crisscross. So, you can see in one, there is one small hole where you can see, and the other arm has a small slit. So, with that slit, you can fix your perpendicular distance. So, that we will give a demonstration in the next set of videos. So this is almost perpendicular, but we didn't use the cross staff here. So we'll give a demo of cross staff in next class. Got it?
Okay, sir. Here you have taken from SF center of the SF building.
No, actually, it's not from center of SF building. We're just showing here. We have taken from the edge of the building. Edge. If you know, there's a railing is there, right? Edge. Right? from the edge of steps you have taken basically, because since the building is straight, whether you take here or you take any point on the building, the distance remains same. If the building is having some inclination with respect to the ground, I mean with respect to the line, then you will take a different points. Now let me share the on screen. Let me share the screen. Yeah. So in this we are showing here, if you see, we have taken somewhere from this point, and since the building is almost straight, right? So we have given a line taken from here, and the length still remains same. If the building is inclined something like this, if it's inclined in this direction, then we'll take one point here and other point here, like that we will do, right? So whenever we do this thing, what we'll do, we'll keep here a cross tab. We'll keep this cross tab here, and one will see from this cross tab, and we will dictate whether the line is perpendicular or not, right? We'll give this demo in the next set of videos. Yeah.
Sir, here it is perpendicular offset. If it is oblique offset, like for suppose there are some trees now.
Yeah.
There it is not perpendicular now, sir.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it's a good question. So what actually what happens in the field? In the chain survey, we never use any angle instruments. Okay. In the field survey, what we do when we're doing a chain survey, once he will know one tree is there, they will look for the point which will give the 7.5 meter. Right? They will hold a tape. They will rotate. Right? At some point, they will get the 7.5 meter. That is, they will fix, because this chain survey is quite approximate. It's not a very accurate survey. So when you go for an accurate survey like compass method or using total station, you can exactly fix the station. But here it is quite inaccurate, or less precise is required, because this kind of surveys are done for a broader area, not for a very you don't require very fine details here. That's why we have done with very minimal instrument. Next step we will use in next class, we'll use much more higher end equipment. Subsequently, we'll slowly increase the equipment's complexities, so that we will easily understand how improvements was made. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, sir, for a body which is not kept in state, so we have to take the
See, basically, if you know this center line, this line you know, right? So you know this distance, you can find the approximate angle. Right here, you know this length, when it's scaled on the drawing, you can find the angle, then you can determine the exact position of this particular tree. In that way you can do, not a problem. You can use AutoCAD also. AutoCAD is simple to do. You can first do in AutoCAD, and then you can reciprocate the drawing in a A4 or a A3 page. So all know AutoCAD, right? Hello? So
No,
all
sir.
of you know AutoCAD?
No, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. What I will do when we go for leveling, I mean profiling of a road, there I will take a class of AutoCAD also. I'll just teach you how to draw a road profile using AutoCAD, right? So there you will easily understand. But time being, we can just draw this picture. We'll see how you are able to draw, and let us bring some improvements day by day. So any more questions?
Sir, if we have question, then we will
Yeah. So if anyone has questions, you can
mail
post,
or in the
yeah, you can
MS.
post. You can post in the MS team. So I will be always active in the MS team. You can just post in the MS team. I will reply accordingly. Got it? So note that 9th September is the last date. So after 9th, don't ask any extension. Try to finish by 9th and submit the first experiments report and drawing. Okay? So shall I end the class?
Okay, sir.
Okay then. Okay. So see you in the next week.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Okay. Okay, sir.